So just allow yourself to sit up nice and tall. And then take a full inhale, draw those shoulders up toward your ears. And as you exhale, let the shoulders drop down as your eyes close. Just allow yourself to come into the room, onto your mat, and into your body. Take in the surroundings, acknowledge what's around, invite it to be part of the practice today. Taking an inhale here, and let it go. Allow yourself to scan over mentally and physically here. Acknowledge the day, acknowledge the week. Just kind of notice the thoughts. Notice how those thoughts affect your body. Acknowledge any areas that need a little bit of extra loving care today. And that could be even in your mind. Just start to take inventory. Give those areas some validity, some validation. Acknowledge them. And then give them a little loving kindness. Allow yourself to drop more into the present with every passing moment. And taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Just allow yourself to be more present with your body. Just taking a moment, placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and just let yourself breathe into those hands. Let your belly expand, let your chest rise on those inhales. And then as you exhale, let them come back to the center line. Just nice full breaths here, nice and easy, nothing forced. Full inhales and full exhales. Feeling free to sigh, to groan, whatever you need to. Just kind of let go of the day, let go of the week. And allow yourself to drop more into the present, more into the body, more into your mind, and acknowledging what's happening there. We'll allow our practice to begin with an opening sigh of the breath. So wherever you are in that breathing cycle, exhale fully. Take a full inhale here. Allowing those eyes to blink open. Allow yourself to transition into our first pose. Our first pose is going to be long-legged butterfly. So in normal butterfly, we kind of bring those feet in as close as we can to have a stretch on those inner thighs. This time you're going to bring it out a little bit further away from your body so you're not feeling that inner thigh. So that you're feeling some sensations in the hips, maybe in the low back. You want to kind of round yourself forward. We're going to target the hips and the spine in this pose. If you feel too much sensation in your outer knee, you can always place a pillow or a blanket under those knees, but there will be some sensation there. As long as it's not painful, you'll be okay in this position. And then you have different options for your arms. Your arms can come forward. If you have a block, maybe you press your head on a block, lean forward, maybe head and hands and block. Maybe 2 blocks, just depends on how you're feeling today. If you're feeling okay in the neck, maybe you just let your head dangle, getting that whole spine sensation. And then just kind of settle in. So you're not really looking for a stretch, but you're looking for sensations in the hip joint, maybe the knees, maybe the ankles, definitely in the spine and hips. So just settling in here for this first pose of our long-legged butterfly, I'll kind of remind ourselves of those 3 principles of yin. So in those 3 principles of yin, you first have coming to your edge. So you want to be able to find a place that's getting to the place where you feel sensation, but you're not going too deep into the sensation. You want to be able to sit here and linger in the sensation without it being painful, without it causing too much discomfort. But you don't want to have any sensation. You don't want to have like no sensation, because then there's no stress. And yin yoga is meant to put just a little bit of stress on these connective tissues in the hips, the joints of the body, the hips, the knees, the ankles, the spine. And it just kind of allows a little bit more of a healing energy to get in there. And so once you've found that edge, and the edge might dissipate, so you might need to find your edge again and again throughout the pose, you start to find some stillness. So you start to settle into stillness, resisting the urges to fidget and move when things become uncomfortable. And just see if you can find your breath there. And then the third principle is to settle in for time. So as I had said, we'll hold each pose for about 5 or 6 minutes. Just allow yourself to settle in here. As you're settling in, just noticing those sensations that are happening in the body. Acknowledge what comes up in the mind as those sensations occur. And try not to put any attachment to it. Try not to go off on any storylines. Just acknowledge it. Become the observer. And if that becomes a sensation that's a little too intense, you've gone past your edge, just come up a little bit. Or if you find that your edge has lessened and you can go a little deeper, start to round yourself forward a little bit more. And again, just pausing there. And then start to kind of lengthen and deepen your breath. See if you can take your awareness with your breath to any sensations that are standing out. And the idea behind the yin poses is that we're affecting the energy channels of the body, the meridians. And sometimes these meridians get blocked, the energy gets blocked. And by compressing certain areas in the body and by lengthening certain areas in the body, we start to get that energy to start to flow again, start to become more equal in the body. In Chinese medicine, that's called qi. In yoga, it's called prana. In science, energy. Our life force. And our breath helps with that. About 30 more seconds here in this pose. Taking a full inhale here. And sigh it out. Slowly start to bring your torso back up. Moving nice and slow, no rush. And then once you're up, helping those knees, draw those knees up. And then take the legs out nice and slow. Just pause there. This is called the rebound of the pose. So just kind of notice how that feels. No fast movements. Just allow yourself to kind of notice those effects of that pose on the body. Maybe you notice some sensations in the hips, maybe the outer knees, the ankles, maybe the low back. And then taking a moment, lean back into your hands, roll the shoulders back. Make a couple movements, maybe rock the legs from side to side. Just bring a little bit of movement into the body. Maybe some ankle circles. Just kind of whatever's going to feel natural to you. And then from here, we're going to come into our next pose. Our next pose is called straddle pose. So it's very similar to the hero's pose that we do in the yang version. So from here, you might want to have something back behind you that you can recline back on. I usually like to take my blocks and then place a blanket or some pillows over the top. Just because my back does not make it all the way to the floor, but yours does, no problem. So from here, you're going to come onto your knees. And if this pose isn't going to feel good in your body, you would do the supported bridge. So you laying on your back, knees bent, and put a block underneath your hips, and then straighten those legs if this is going to be too much for your knees. So then you can choose to sit on the blocks, or you can sit off the blocks. So whatever's going to feel best to you. And then you're just going to start to slowly start to make your way back onto either the floor, your elbows, the blocks, whatever is going to feel best. So here we're targeting the knees, the hips, the spine, the ankles, right? And your knees don't have to stay close together. They can go wide because you're relaxing those muscles. Just kind of take a moment, engage the muscles, squeeze those muscles like you're going to do a pose in the vinyasa class. And then as you exhale, relax all those muscles down. Good. And then as you continue to find your edge, maybe you lay back. If you need a little bit more support for your head, you always have a pillow or something you can tuck under there. So just finding those stressors. So now we've compressed the front side of our body in the last pose. And now we're opening the front side of our body. We're compressing a little bit more into the back side of our body. And no rush. Make sure that you're going at your pace. Maybe you stay up on your elbows for a while. Maybe you do supported bridge if this is too much compression in the knees. Just allow yourself to tap into those sensations that are happening in the body. Maybe even allow the eyes to close. And then settle into that stillness. As time goes on, if you feel like you need a little bit more edge, the arms can always come back up overhead, and the backs of the hands release to the floor as those elbows either hover or release to the floor. Or you can even take the arms out wide from your body with those arms bent a little. So you have different options just to really get into the front side of the body. And again, whatever's going to feel best to you today. Just allowing those muscles to really relax here. Try not to engage energetically in those muscles, no contractions. There will be a little bit of a stretch happening, but we really want to have yourself target the hips, the knees, the ankles, that low back. Just create a little bit of stress there to allow new energy to flow through that area. About 2 more minutes here. You have about 1 more minute here. Taking a full inhale here. And sigh out. Very slowly start to make your way back up. Moving ever so slowly, no rush. Notice those sensations as you start to come out of the pose. Using the support of your arms. Once you're up to seated, you can roll all the way forward onto hands and knees. If that's not accessible, roll to one side. Draw one ankle in and then take those legs out in front. Just pause there for a moment. Maybe draw those knees into your chest and curl yourself over those knees, pausing there. Just kind of noticing those sensations in the body. No rush. We're going to continue to target the low back. Specifically, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So again, if coming down, maybe your shoulders are bothering you or being on your belly isn't very happy for you today, you can do that supported bridge pose. So go ahead and shift your weight forward and then come down onto your belly. I usually like to have a little bit of a prop underneath my chest just to give me a little bit of lift for my shoulders, not to take too much stress. Like having that little stress in the shoulder joint is okay. Then you're going to come down onto your belly and you're going to lay, if you have that support, that pillow or bolster, right underneath the sternum, right underneath the breastbone. So that's just going to give you a little bit more lift so that your shoulders aren't taking all of it, but you don't need it if your shoulders are feeling okay and you want to have a little bit more stress in the shoulders. And then just kind of find a comfortable position for your shoulders and your elbows. Palms can be up or down, whatever's going to be most relaxed to you. And then take the legs and kind of make them out a little bit wider than normal. And then engage the body. Imagine you're doing Sphinx pose. And then relax the body, especially the legs. I know for me, I tend to hold a little bit more energy in my glutes and my booty. And so I like to rock it a little bit from side to side just to remind myself to let go. And then from here, you can keep your head up. You can rest it on a block. You can let yourself round forward, maybe even those shoulders kind of round forward. And you target the whole spine. So here we're targeting the shoulders, the low back, finding a little bit of that spine. So again, very similar to what we did before, opening the front of the body, compressing the back of the body, affecting all those meridians that run along the front side and the back side. And then once you're there, start to settle into that stillness. Notice those sensations in the body. Just taking yourself and kind of scanning the body. Scanning from your legs up to your head. And scanning back down from the head to the feet. So maybe taking your breath, directing that breath to any area that feels a little too intense. See if you can find a little bit more ease in that area. These next 3 minutes, I invite you to find a steady rhythm with your breath. See if you can, as you're scanning the body, see if you can inhale, scan up. As you exhale, scan down. Just notice if you can start to feel the energy flow. About 1 more minute here. For those that would like to take a little bit extra sensation in the body, you can come into seal pose. Slide those hands out a little bit away from you. You start to straighten the arms so that your arms can go straight. You're just going to have a little bit extra pressure in the low back. Be mindful that you keep the glutes relaxed. And then settle in here for a few breaths. If this is a pose that does not feel good in your body, just return back to Sphinx. Taking a full inhale here. And side out. If your arms are straight, go ahead and bend them. Pause there for a couple rounds of breath. And then when you're ready, roll yourself all the way down onto the floor. Take any padding that's underneath you out. Bring your hands underneath your forehead, rest your forehead on your hands. Just take a couple moments, bend the knees, and then rock the feet from side to side. And then turning your head to the right, lengthen the legs back out, but then take that right knee, bend it toward the right side, and pause there for a couple breaths. Just notice the effects of the pose on the body. And then slowly return that right leg down. Turn your head to the left. Bring that left leg out to the side. And bring your head back to center, take the left leg down. And then slide the hands by your side. And then press yourself back to child's pose. We'll be in child's pose for about a minute, so do whatever is going to feel best to you. Usually for me, it feels best to stay up on my elbows for a couple breaths. Just letting that spine come back from that a little tiny of a back bend to a more natural curve in the low back. Then as it feels good, maybe your head lengthens forward. Arms can reach forward to the side or back toward your feet. Just take nice full breaths, noticing the sensations in the body. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly make your way all the way up to seated. Come to the seat and just pause there for a moment. Just kind of notice those sensations that are happening. And from here, we're going to come into one of my favorite poses, shoelace pose. I like to sit up on something. You do not have to, but if you do sit up on a cushion or a blanket, I recommend that you have kind of the point of the edge of the blanket kind of pointing forward underneath you, so that then your sit bones will kind of go toward the edge of that. Just going to give you a little bit more space for your legs. So find a seat. And then we'll start in half shoelace and see how that feels for people. So you'll take your legs and draw them out in front. And then from here, you'll take your right leg over your left. And then just kind of start to slide that left leg back. See how that feels. Sometimes I feel like there's a little too much extension of my knee on my one side. So I just kind of put a little something under my calf, under my knee, so that it doesn't hyperextend. That just doesn't feel comfortable to me. And then if this feels okay, stay here. If you think maybe this bottom leg will bend, you can bend this bottom leg back by your hip as well. This is a lot more sensation in the hip, so just be aware of that. See it where you want to be. So you're gonna take this first minute to kind of just settle in to figure out what feels best to you today. And the knees don't have to stack all the way. Maybe one knee is a little bit further out to the side. It just depends on how it feels to you. And then just take a moment and squeeze those inner thighs together, press the knees down, notice that engagement, and then relax that engagement. And just notice what happens to the body, the sensations in the body. And just kind of notice here, we're just taking initial inventory, really getting into the hips, getting into those little connective tissues in the hips. There's a lot of ligaments and tendons that help keep our ball and socket joint in place. This is just going to bring a little bit more energy, a little bit more lubrication to those areas so that they can move a little bit better. And I really just invite you here to allow yourself to just be. A lot of times we're go, go, go. We do cardio workouts, we do vinyasa flow workouts, we do weight training. We do all of these heating activities where we don't really take the time, and we think it's kind of selfish if we take time to rest and take time to just sit and be with our body. So this is that time for you. Just allow yourself to be here. Notice the sensations, notice where your thoughts go. Notice how the body feels. So we're going to add on a little bit. We're gonna start to take our left hand and walk it out to the side. If you need a block or a pillow, you can have that handy, but just kind of walk to the left a little bit, kind of keep that right hip heavy, and maybe just kind of press into that arm, maybe it goes straight, and you kind of just let that left ear drop to the left shoulder. So then you have options with your right hand. The right hand, if you want a little bit of a shoulder stretch, you'll take the back of the hand, bring it to your low back, and just kind of find a position where you can relax your arm. So you're getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch. If you want a little bit more of a side stretch, so a lengthening of the side waist, maybe you take that top arm, that right arm, and bring it over the top of your head, and take the hand behind your head and just kind of let the arm rest on the head. So you have that as an option. So whatever's going to feel best to you. And as those sensations kind of dissipate, I usually tend to bring my elbow down to a block or a bolster. Just find a little bit more length in that side waist if that's what I'm targeting. Just continue to breathe here. Noticing the sensations. If it feels okay to the neck, maybe you start to take your gaze down to that bottom foot. Taking your right arm, bring it back to your side. Just pause there for a moment. And then slowly turn the head back to center. And then gently press yourself up. Just pause there. Noticing those sensations. And then you have the opportunity to stay upright and stay here for another minute, or if you'd like to fold forward, you have that as an opportunity. If you fold forward just with your spine long, you're going to definitely target the hips and knees more. If you want to target your spine, slide a pillow right up next to your belly, and then round your spine over that pillow or blanket, and just kind of let the shoulders round out forward. You're going to get deeper into the spine, as well as a little bit into the hips. If it's too much pressure in the knees, bring your hands forward as opposed to back. And then maybe your head just kind of dangles, or maybe it rests on your knee or a block. And take a few deep breaths here. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly start to curl yourself up. And then gently start to bring those legs out, moving ever so slowly. Again, no rush. You've been here a long time. Take your time coming out. And then once those legs are out, maybe hug them in to begin and just kind of sit with those sensations, or extend the legs out. whatever feels best right now. And then slowly start to lean back, take those legs out in front, just take a moment and either move them or bounce them. Maybe rock them from side to side. And then when you're ready, moving to the second side. So the left leg is going to go on top. And again, both sides aren't going to be the same, so just kind of notice, check in, notice how that feels on that side. Maybe that bottom leg comes under. Maybe you need a little padding under a leg here on this side. Just kind of make any adjustments you need. Try not to have any expectations. Just kind of settle in here. Take the first minute to kind of settle in and kind of take any wiggles out that you need to. Just kind of notice the sensations. Notice the difference between the first time you did the first side and the time now that you're doing this. There might be a little less sensation, or maybe there's more. And just kind of check in and relish the fact that you are taking time for yourself and allowing yourself to sit and be here with your body and explore what it has to offer. And start to find some stillness. Maybe the eyes close, maybe they stay open. And start to tap into the sensations of the body. Then as you're ready, start to walk that right hand out to the side. Just pause there for a moment, straightening the arm, kind of leaning into it. Maybe letting that right ear drop down to the shoulder. And then you have options with that left hand. It can come behind you for more of a shoulder stretch. Or a shoulder sensation, not really a stretch, but feeling that sensation in the shoulder, or taking it up and overhead to find that sensation on the side waist, stretching that fascia that wraps around our body, especially in the midsection. Just allowing the arm to rest on the head if you do that. Just kind of notice the sensations and then settle back into that stillness with your breath. And if it feels okay for your neck, turning that head and looking down to that bottom foot or hip. Again, I invite you to just stay with your breath, notice the sensations, and just allow yourself to be fully present with your body.
And if your top hand, go ahead and bring that down, your left hand, just bring it by your side. Pausing there. And then slowly bring your head back to neutral. And then when you're ready, slowly bring yourself all the way back up. And just pausing there for a moment. Notice those sensations. And then as you're ready, starting to take that forward or stay where you are, using any props you need to start to lengthen forward, whatever's going to feel best to you here. And really drop back into the cycles of your breath, taking nice, full, deep breaths. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly start to bring yourself up. Again, no rush. Take your time. Moving mindfully, allowing those legs to come out. Supporting them in whatever way you need. And then again, either pause with the legs straight or hug those knees in and just round forward. Just notice the sensations. And then as you're ready, start to lean back into those hands, maybe straighten the legs out. Rocking them a little bit from side to side. Whatever is going to feel best to you here. And then from here, we're going to make our way onto our back. So slowly make your way onto your back. We're going to come into a twist. So just depending on how you are feeling today, how deep you want to take your twist. I'm going to walk you through a couple different variations, and then feel free to pause wherever you need to. We're going to draw our knees to the left first. You might want to have maybe a block or a blanket to the left side. So as you drop yourself to the left, you have some support there. So from here, just take the knees, draw them into the chest for a moment. And then start to drop those knees over to the left. And again, this isn't energizing. You're just going to kind of let them fall. You might feel like you need some support under that top knee or the bottom knee. Just find a little rotation in the spine. And then let that right arm open up to the side. So this will be your first twist, just a simple twist. If you're feeling like you want to target the top hip just a little bit more, you can go into twisted root. So you would take your right leg and kind of lift it up, lift your left knee, cross your right leg over your left knee, and then let those knees drop again. So it's going to find just a little bit more target in the hips. We did a lot of that targeting in that last pose of shoelace, so this might be a little too much for you right now. If you want to find a little bit more spinal rotation, You can take that bottom leg and extend it out toward the bottom of your mat, and then let that right leg come across your body. And again, you can support it so that you don't have too much tension in the hip. Support that calf or knee with a block or a bolster. And then start to open that right shoulder a little bit more. So find a little bit more rotation in the upper body, targeting that spine and the hip. If it feels okay for the neck, looking over that right shoulder. Just start to drop into the sensations of the body. Maybe even taking your left hand and placing it on your belly and allow that belly to expand and contract and expand into the hand as you breathe. Allow yourself to give yourself some loving kindness, some appreciation of what your body can do for you, how it supports you day in and day out. We have about 2 more minutes here in this twist. Just allowing yourself to drop into those sensations, into the body, into the breath. Being fully present with your body. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. If that bottom leg is extended, start to draw it back toward the top leg. And then taking that right arm, draw it all the way over to the left. So you're laying on your left side. Let your left arm be a pillow. Pause there for a moment. And then slowly, as you're ready, make your way onto your back. Pause there for a moment once you're on your back. Adjust any of those props that you need to the other side of your body. And then start with drawing the knees into the chest, hugging them in. And then drawing those knees over to the right. And again, let them be heavy, let the muscles relax, just noticing where you feel that sensation. And again, if you want to target the outer hip, you're going to cross that left leg over the right and then let the knees drop again. Maybe start to bring that right hand to the belly and breathe into that right hand, just allowing that belly to expand. And then you have that option, you can stay here if this is feeling good, or maybe you want to take that bottom knee and straighten it, extending that leg to the end of your mat. And allowing that left leg to be supported if you need it. And then find that stillness again. Finding a little bit more openness in the upper body. A little bit more rotation from that mid to upper back. And just allow yourself to come back to the sensations of the body. Notice if you're holding any energetic muscle energy and see if you can let that relax. And then invite yourself to slow and deepen your breath. We have about 2 more minutes here in this twist. Taking a full inhale here. And let it go. Slowly, if that bottom leg is extended or crossed, bring it back to the top knee. And then taking that left arm, bring it over to the right. Use your right arm as a pillow. Pause there for a few moments on your right side. And then when you're ready, rolling yourself onto your back again. Pause there for a moment. And then take a few moments, maybe gather a couple props, maybe taking a blanket and placing it over your belly. Taking those legs, extending them out, maybe take up a little bit more room. You can even place a cushion or a pillow under the knee so they feel a little bit more supported. Maybe something under the low back so that you have support there, and maybe even under the neck. So just finding yourself a little bit more supported today in your Shavasana. Allowing yourself to feel a little bit more supported, grounded. Just allowing you to drop into a few moments of silence, few moments of stillness. Just kind of allowing yourself to scan over the body, be here with your body and mind for just a few more moments. I'll bring us out of Shavasana with Rebound. Take rest. Feeling free to stay here That's the beauty of a home practice. You can stay and restore as long as you need. If you're ready to end, start to deepen your breath. Start to bring some movement into the fingers, the toes, the wrists and ankles. And then start to take those arms, reach them back behind your head, slide your feet together, give yourself a long stretch. And then slowly bend the knees. Either windshield wiper those legs or hug the knees into the chest, whatever's going to feel best in your body. And then just kind of notice what you have in store for the rest of your evening. If you'd like to keep this more relaxed, mellow tone, you're going to roll to your right side. If you feel like you need a little bit more energy for what's in store for your evening ahead, you're going to roll to your left side. And just pause there for a few moments. And by rolling to either side, whatever nostril's on top. So if you roll to the left with the right nostril on top, that just is more of the energizing nostril. It's going to open that pathway a little bit more. If you roll to the left side will be a little bit more open, keeping you in that more calm and grounded sensation. And then as you're ready, mindfully press yourself up. Come all the way back up to seated. Once you've found that seat, allow your eyes to close. Allow yourself to come into the room, onto your mat, and into your body. Bring those hands maybe to your heart and to your belly again. Just connecting again with the sensations of the body, connecting with yourself, thanking yourself for taking the time to be with your body, with your breath, allowing yourself to just sit in stillness. We'll seal this practice again with a sigh of the breath. Exhale fully here. Inhale. Bow your head slightly. Maybe bring those palms together. In an act of gratitude, think of one thing in your life that you truly are grateful for. Then hold on to that image in your mind's eye as you raise your head with a smile. Thank you for joining me. Drink lots of water, eat your veggies for some love. We'll see you next time. Namaste.